Greetings all, it's me Grudar and welcome to this very special pack opening. I will be opening 12 Aether Revolt boosters. If you want to skip right to the action, click on the timestamp right here on my body. There it is. So a little bit of backstory before I go into it. These packs have already been opened by either myself or my dad, who participated in the Two-Headed Giant event with me, but that doesn't really matter, because I don't remember any of what's inside these. So it's fine. Now, I haven't done anything like this before, so it might be a bit scrubbish, but then at least we'll know how to do it better for next time. So this weekend was the Aether Revolt pre-release weekend. I went to 2 pre-releases, 2 times to a giant, because I really enjoyed that one more than a single player one, because it's just, you generally have a better card pool, so you can make cooler, more interesting decks. And it was my usual partners, I mean the ones I've been to the pre-release with the previous 2 times, which is a dude. The first one, and the second one is my dad. And in the first one we actually went 3-1 and got second place and got a third place and got a bunch of boosters. So that's part of this. And then the second one with my dad, we actually went 3-1 again and got second place, because it was a better tiebreaker. We played against the winner, also against like the 5th place and stuff. So we had a better tiebreaker, and that's like, most of these boosters are from that event, because that's mine as well as my dad's boosters, so yeah. And I will admit, these have already been opened before. I do not remember any of what's inside, but I do know what kind of the general line is. Doesn't matter. I'm just doing this for you. This is for you. So let's get right into it, shall we? Now for the first pack. You can't see me properly, but that's fine. So this should be perfect. First common is Chandra's Revolution. Hold on, let's get this right. Deals 4 damage to target creature, tap target land, that land doesn't untap. So I'm gonna kinda skim through the commons, because I usually the commons are like, they're common, right? So you see them all the time, and they generally aren't useful at all. What is more interesting is the uncommons and the rare / mythic, and possibly foil. And I think we're going into the uncommons now. So this one is a really interesting card. It's called Vengeful Rebel, and it's a 3/2 for 3 with Revolt. When it enters the battlefield, if a permanent you control left the battlefield this turn, target creature an opponent controls gets -3/-3 until end of turn. So that generally means that you get a 3/2 and you get to kill one of their creatures for just 3 mana. Great in limited, and I'm pretty sure this is gonna see constructed play in some way or another. Untethered Express, a cool vehicle, and whenever the text put a +1 + counter on. Sorry for my my hand movements, by the way. My hand isn't the most stable. Sorry for that cut, I was blocking my mic myself. Enchanted creature or vehicle. As long as enchanted permanent is a vehicle, it's a creature in addition to its other types. Enchanted creature gets +3/+0 and has first strike. So basically, if you play this on a vehicle, it will be a creature permanently. So if you play this on the 1 mana 7/11, it's actually a 4 mana turn 3 10/11 first strike, so that's pretty cool. Call for Unity, 5 mana for an enchantment with Revolt. At the beginning of your end step, if a permanent you control left the battlefield this turn, put a unity counter on call for unity. Creatures you control get +1/+1 for each unity counter on call of unity. I'm gonna hold it here as I'm talking. So that's a really interesting card for limited, I'd say, or commander, because it's 5 mana for an enchantment. So I wouldn't play it in any constructed format. So it's basically only good for Commander Unlimited. Really interesting card though. It's an Anthem effect that gets stronger every time. And then the energy token, which this time they did not forget, because our local gaming store had booster boxes from the first batch, which did not have any of the energy reserve tokens in it. So that was quite annoying. Let's get into the booster. This one had an Johnny on it. So we're gonna start with, I'm gonna use my other hand now so my one hand doesn't get tired. Sweatworks Brawler. 3/3 Improvised Menace. So I'm gonna, again, skim through these commons. Not stick with them. This is a great limited card, by the way. Destroy target creature or vehicle, always nice. Prizefighter Construct. Negate. That's like one of the cards that has been reprinted the most times of all. On the same category as Cancel. Shock. Great red card. Natural Obsolescence. Countless Gears Renegade. Ooh, I suck at this. Aether Herder, or Ether. I never know how to pronounce that. It seems that people pronounce it both Aether and Ether. So, I do them both. I do them both. Next one is Implement of Ferocity. And the uncommons. Crackdown Construct. There you go, now you can see them better. Crackdown Construct. Whenever you activate an ability of an artifact or creature that isn't a mana ability, this creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Now, if you remember Wandering Fumarole, which is a manland from Battle for Zendikar or Oath of the Gatewatch. I actually think it was from Oath of the Gatewatch. It has an activated ability for 0 mana that you can repeat all the time. So this is basically a 4 mana infinity if you have the Wandering Fumarole on the battlefield. Next is Lifecrafter's Gift. Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature, then put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control with a +1/+1 counter on it. So that means this is at least put 2 +1/+1 counter on target creatures. If you have more than one creature, or if you have a single creature with a +1/+1 counter on it already, then it becomes 3 +1/+1 counters. If you have 2 creatures, it becomes 4. You get what I mean. It's not a terrible card, but it's not a great card either. The last uncommon is Ironclad Revolutionary. Now this is a really interesting card. Gotta support my arm because this is terrible. This is a really interesting card because I had a judge call for it. When Ironclad Revolutionary enters battlefield, you may sacrifice an artifact. If you do, put 2 +1/+1 counters on Ironclad Revolutionary and each opponent loses 2 life. So the question was, if you destroy this creature before its ability resolves, will each opponent still lose 2 life? The answer is yes, because first of all, you don't choose whether to sacrifice an artifact or not when the trigger gets on the stack, but rather when it resolves. So that's already a great upside of this. And then when it dies before this resolves, that just means the spell resolves as good as possible. So if you want to put 2 +1/+1 counters on it, you can't, but you resolve it as good as you can, so each opponent will still lose 2 life. That's the same principle as many other cards, but it's I do agree it may be a bit weird. And the rare is Aether or Aether Sphere Harvester, a 3 mana 3/5 vehicle with flying. When it enters the battlefield, you get 3 energy counters. You can pay 1 to give it a lifelink until left turn, and it has crew 1. This is a great vehicle. This is an amazing vehicle. It's like Smuggler's Copter, except less unfair, but also it has lifelink, so it's in some sense better, but it's 1 more mana, so it's also in some sense worse. It's a great card, absolutely amazing. Now for the Forest and Servo token. The third one is another Ajani booster, or Ayani. We pronounce it Ayani because it's Dutch, right? We speak Dutch in here. So we say Ayani, but it might be Ajani. Frontline Rebel, Watchful Automaton, Cruel Finality, Metallic Rebuke, that's actually not a terrible card. Filigree Crawler, Night Market Guard, Lifecraft Cavalry, oops, almost spoiling the rare, Audacious Infiltrator, Silk Weaver Elite, oh gosh, Gonti's Machinations is the first uncommon. This one is interesting. Whenever you lose life for the first time each turn, you get 1 energy, pay 2 energy, sacrifice it to make each opponent lose 3 life, you gain life equal to the life lost this way. So, Intuited Giant, this may seem like a great card, like each opponent loses 3 life, that means the opponent's team loses 6, and you gain 6. However, with the way it works, you won't gain energy with this card, because the opponent gets to choose which teammate they'll do damage on, and this won't trigger. So unless you can make energy yourself, it's not that great of a card at all. Next one is Servo Schematic, an alright card with the artifact sacrificer we saw last time. We saw a previous booster. Next one is Invigorated Rampage. This one is great, especially if you have creatures with double strike. Oh man, what an incredible limited card. Might even be played in standard. Who knows? And the rare will be Midnight Entourage, an Aetherborn Rogue, 4 mana 3/3. Other Aetherborn you control will get +1/+1 whenever it or another creature or another Aetherborn you control dies, you draw a card and you lose 1 life. So basically it's a 4 mana 3/3 with whenever it dies, you draw a card and you lose 1 life. Which isn't terrible at all, and especially given that it buffs your other Aetherborn, I'd play this, absolutely. We have a foil, Plains, and a Servo token. That's a cool far away. Let's have a closer look at that. Yeah. Foils are cool. Foils are really cool. So this one's in their Tezzeret pack. And I wasn't as fortunate to pull a Tezzeret. However, I did get a foil Ajani promo in my first pre-release pack. So that's great. Great common, by the way. It will always kill something in limited. The other ones, the other commons in this pack, except this one, don't seem to be as great. And this one's great as well. Actually, this one, I wanna talk about this one, because it's a very good revolt trigger. If you know your opponents won't block your creatures, or you only have small creatures that don't really have to be blocked anyway, you will be able to just move this guy's counters to another creature, making it die, and instantly triggering your revolt anyway. So you wouldn't even have to have something die. Great common, really. Actually, the first pre-release, we had 3 of those, and we decided to play 2 of them because it was like, yeah, this is a great card, but not that great. And then it was just so good that in the second pre-release we got 3 of those again, and we just played all of them as the only 5 drops in the deck because it's just such a great common. Beam Aether Seer. When it enters the battlefield, you get an amount of energy equal to the greatest power among creatures you control. Pay 3 energy, target creature blocks this turn if able. So when it enters, it gives you 3 energy either way, as long as it remains on the battlefield before the trigger resolves. That's great. Great uncommon for limited. Outside of limited, I wouldn't play this at all. Skyship Plunderer. 2/1 for 2 with flying. When it deals combat damage to a player, you may proliferate or proliferate for a single permanent or player. So you get to place a counter of a certain sort onto a player or opponent. Hidden Stockpile is a great card for limited, but I wouldn't really play it outside of limited. It gives you free 1/1s, why not? The rare is Rishkar's Expertise. Man, have I seen that card often. Great, absolutely great for limited, probably also for commander, but outside of that, no, just... It's a fun card. It's a fun card, I must say it's a fun card, because we went up against guys who used this for 9 power, and got to draw 9 cards, and actually almost just completely turned the game around. That's a nice swing for you. This is Tezzeret's token, by the way. He is +1 produces those. Another Ajani pack. And again, we'll start with the commons. Precise Strike, good common. Probably good in solo. Oh crap! Solid for limited. Again, all right for limited. Not terrible. These are all like not terrible, but also not great cards. It's like that's what commons are, right? At least commons in this set. Another siege modification. We've seen this one before. Aeronaut Admiral. 3/1 flying. For 4 vehicles you control have flying. I probably wouldn't even play this card in limited unless you have a bunch of vehicles to accompany it with. Spire Patrol. Now this is a great card. Or not. No, it's a great card. When it enters the battlefield, tap target creature an opponent controls. That creature doesn't untap during its control's next untap step. And it's a 4-mana 3/2 flying. Great. Why not? It's a flying creature, and it has untap effect. The final one is Pia's Revolution. Whenever a non-token artifact is put in your graveyard from the battlefield, return that card to your hand unless target opponent has Pia's Revolution. Deal 3 damage to him or her. Ooh. This goes in a very specific commander deck. Terrible, absolutely terrible for limited. Unless you somehow have oodles and oodles of non-token artifacts, but no, otherwise just no. This is not a great card. It's a story card though. It's a story card. Look at this. Story Spotlight. And then a Gremlin token and a Forest. Now for the final Tezzeret. Did I even show these boosters from up close? This is a Tezzeret booster. This is an Ajani booster. I didn't have the 3rd version yet. Apparently I just don't have one. Or maybe it's with the other ones, whatever. The lovely sound of opening a pack. Iron Tread Crusher. Dispersal Technician. Night Market Aeronaut. Oops, Frontline Rebel. Watchful automaton. Automaton. Come on, just how do you pronounce that? Automaton, right? Because it's just such a weird word. Ice over. Natural obsolescence. Also a weird word. Obsolescence? Obsolescence? God, English is hard. Verdant automaton. This was actually the card that my opponents went 9 power with. It was like I locked it down, but it could so it couldn't attack or block, but it could still use its activated abilities. So in the end, it was like 9 power. So they used the Rishtar's expertise to draw 9 cards, even though it was disabled by me. Aether Inspector. High Spire Infusion. That's actually a nice reference, because this guy right here, this guy there, that's actually a card by himself, I think. And he has like a little version of this guy, this big guy, in his hand. That's a cool reference, bro. And then the uncommons. I'm gonna switch hands because, ooh, this takes a lot of energy. Illusionist's Stratagem. Exile up to 2 target creatures you control, then return those. So it's blink 2 creatures and draw a card. Not a terrible card at all, because previous set, Kaladesh, there was this card, except in white, it could only exile 1 creature, and it also cost 1 less mana. Which may just be better, but you never know why you would blink 2 creatures. Reckless Racer, whenever it becomes tapped, you may discard a card if you do draw a card. Not a terrible card at all. For limited, obviously. Oh, excuse me. Daredevil Dragster, 3 mana at end of combat. If it attacked or blocked, put a velocity counter on it. If it has 2 or more velocity counters on it, sacrifice it and draw 2 cards. Crew 2. Not the best vehicle I've seen, not the worst vehicle I've seen, it's alright. And the rare is Whir of Invention. Sound effect. Right? This is not a great card at all. This, it might be good in Modern Legacy? I don't know. But it just, to me it feels like a commander card. Terrible in anything but commander, as far as I'm concerned. But I don't know that much about Modern or Legacy or Vintage, for that matter. And a Servo and Island. So, let's change this again. Hi. Ooh, I'm suddenly so clear. So yeah, those were 6 of the 12 packs I have lying here next to me. I'm gonna wait before I open these others, because I would like some feedback from you watching right now. How did you like this? Did you get any cool stuff out of it? Did you find it was going too slow? Do you want me to stop talking? I could stop talking, but it's just... Do you want me to hold the cards differently, like, I don't know, sideways? Differently like this? Differently like this? Because there's, like, my lights are there and there. I mean, normally that one's there, but I just moved it here. So when I turn it, it's visible. When I don't turn it, it's kind of dark. I turn it this way, then there's a shine, because this light has a pretty hard shine, as you can see. But that's this is some experimental thing. I've never done this before. I don't watch a lot of these, so I'm not too sure how other people's do it. How other people do it. But I bet it's not very different from what I just did. Hopefully, maybe. I don't know. I opened 6 packs in like 25 minutes. Or 20 maybe, depending on how hard I cut this down. But yeah. This was fun to do, just talking about the pre-release, talking about the cards, talking about interesting interactions, and I hope you enjoyed it too. So for now, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Let me know if you want the other 6 packs the same way or differently. I'll do it either way. So I'll see you on STA.